Sewing Thursday, and we are going to put in another zip. Now there's so many ways in which you can do zips, and this is probably the one that you think is most common. I've already shown you the concealed zip, which I think is much easier, but here it is, the zip that I never put in, but you should know how to do it. So let's try the open zip. Typically it has got the teeth on the outside, and to do that you need your sample fabric. So get yourself 2 pieces like this that we can then join at the lower end, and you also need 2 pieces of calico or something that you want to use as your lining. And we are going to just close the lower part here, just a tiny little bit down there, so that we pretend it's like a dress or a skirt. This is easier to put in if you've got a waistband at the top, but I think what you are all very interested in is how do I do it at the top. It's actually very similar to the concealed zip, just a little trick to it. How do I do it when I don't have a waistband? If you do have a waistband, it is far easier, as you probably already know if you've tried this. So this is the one, no waistband. How do I get it in really neatly all the way to the top? Let's get started. So I've got my pieces here, and I quickly just snip there so that I close them both the same amount, and now I can just go on there, and from that point with the centimeter seam allowance I can close my little mini seam. Right, here I've got my zip, and I'm actually starting with the lining. There is a difference if you have something unlined, then I would recommend that your seam allowance is massively bigger than that. I would do maybe a 2 centimeter seam allowance, that might be nice, so that when it's folded over you've got somewhere to stitch, otherwise this will be a bit short. But I'm going to do it with the lining. So because we're doing the inside of the dress, you're actually putting this part of the zip the wrong way around. So yeah, turn it over like that and place it underneath so that you don't make a mistake. Okay, and then this is going to be sewn to here, right? Not too close, just like on the concealed zip. So if you fold this over here, you do the same as you did with the concealed zip, so like a few weeks back, and we're going to stitch this too. So I'm going to quickly sew this on. Sew it in here. Right, it's nicely pinned to the same point, of course. And right, so open up your zip so that you can get past it. And again, you need to, like with most of your zip stuff that I've shown you, you just move your needle across. There we go. That's about right on the middle of your zipper. And then sew all the way down. And I can close my zip. Just to the end where you have your little snip. Okay. Come back up. Oops, got it caught there. Down, open up again. Pin out all the way to the top. Secure your thread. And that is your lining inserted. Now we're going to put our zip in from the outside. There we go, just place it over the top. And I don't know if you've already guessed what we're going to do now. We're just going to sew this zip on from this side. Now, there we go. Ta-da! Not so bad, is it? That way nothing can go wrong, nothing can move the wrong way or anything. Right, That's my side of that zip. You can see how I can roll that over later. Now I do the other side, fold this over as well, and then pin it to this side. I'm giving away all my tricks for free here. And just make sure that this is all nice and flat, that's all. And voila. Halfway, actually on my puff machine is just that red line there. The key is not to go too close to there. Unlike the concealed zip, you want to be just halfway there. So I'm just going through here. Ow! There we go. Nice and straight. I slipped a bit over there, didn't I? Right, so now I just go to where my zip ends here. I just go to the point that I've sewn up. You can see it there. Let's have a look at this. We've got a lining in here, neatly in already. And on the outside, we've got it looking like this. So at this point, now we need to put it here so that it closes in the center there, right? And I would suggest that you darlings all give this a good press. I've just magically ironed mine, walked over there and ironed it, so I've got the bit now in there. So if I sewed this down, I could get it exactly right. Now if you are putting this into a skirt or something and you have a waistband on the top, that's exactly what you would do now. You would sew down here and all the way back up there. But this is the top of a dress, so it is not very difficult to do, and it is very, very similar to what we've done on the concealed zip. So from here we fold it like that over. Okay, you have to have it right there on that crease. You can now pin this in and then sew all the way across the top. So let's do this again very slowly. We need this there. With a concealed zip, you'd go all the way in, wouldn't you? But here, we're not doing that. We're going to where the crease is. Right. There we go. And then we can just sew straight across. Go all the way across, and when this is turned you can see that here you've got the lining, yeah, a bit shorter, and this goes over so that when I close my zip it's hidden in there. So let's do the other side. There we go. Yep, so we just fold this back in. You can snip this off if you like. Just needs top stitching from either side, and that is of course not quite so easy. Some of you might want to tack this first before you sew it so it can't slip off anywhere, or you do what I do and you just go for it. But like I said, it's not that easy. If you do, start on the left side, so make sure your stitch length is a little bit bigger. And all we want to do is sew this down. So what I tend to do is I actually have my foot on those teeth and I won't slip off. You could use a zipper foot, obviously. I find I have actually more control like this. That's a preference thing. Okay. Then I'm going to close my zip, still on the edge. Of reason, and to make it nice and pretty, I'm not going to go straight over, but I'm going to do a little tip other side. Again, anyone that is a beginner should really mark all this stuff because it's not that easy to get right. And then with the zip closed and shutting it like that with my hands, just to make sure. I could have done that obviously on the other side as well. I just line it up with my presser foot again, and I go up. There we go. Open up my zip so I can get past it. And ta-da-da-da-ta-da, at the top, go backwards and forwards. There we go, zip done. That's one option. Sometimes in the shops you can see that the zip is actually visible at the top, which I don't like. But this is it, and this is how it's done. I'll see you again next week. Not too sure what I'm going to do next week. Could be pockets. So see you then. Bye.